1 year ago, a corrupt plan was about to be launched to topple our democracy. On January 6, pro-Trump rioters stormed the U.S. Capitol and tried to overturn the election results. Congress was in the bullseye, and Representative Elaine Luria was in the middle of it all.
Today, she sits on the House Select Committee working to find out who orchestrated the attack and to try and make sure it never happens again. I recently asked her, how close was our democracy to falling that day?
I think it was dangerously close. I think that were it not for the actions of several people in key positions who did the right thing, who followed the law, that we could have had a very different outcome on that day.
6 months into her work as part of the House Select Committee, Congressman Elaine Luria says it's becoming increasingly clear that people inside government and out wanted to disrupt our functioning democracy. The so-called big lie.
As we learn more and get sort of closer and closer to the people who were at the center of that big lie, that I think it'll become very clear to the American people that our country was really in danger.
To date, Luria says the committee has heard from 300 witnesses, gotten 250 tips from the public, and produced 35,000 documents. The objective is to find any links between those who came to Washington on January 6th to members of Congress, even to the White House.
You know, when you look at people who show up for a peaceful protest, they don't normally wear bulletproof vests and have tactical radios.
Do you believe that there are current members of Congress that were involved in a plot to overthrow the U.S. government on January 6th?
Well, we certainly want to hear from several members of Congress.
Today is the day American patriots start taking down names.
There were sitting members of Congress who spoke at these rallies on January 5th, for example, and very clearly made claims of this lie about the election being stolen.
Luria says using a widespread disinformation campaign online, rioters somehow felt violence was the way for their voices to be heard.
Were it not for people who did the right thing that day, such as former Vice President Pence, and the bravery of the Capitol police officers who held these people off and prevented them from overrunning the chamber while lawmakers were still there, we could have had a very, very different outcome.
Will the House Select Committee's investigation ultimately lead right to Donald Trump?
I'm not going to forecast the outcome, but he's certainly obviously a key figure.
A key question, why did it take so long for the former president to call off the rioters?
You have to go home now.
There was 187 minutes that elapsed from the time the Capitol was broached until the President of the United States, the Commander-in-Chief, someone who had vast influence over the people who were taking these violent acts, before he spoke to the public to tell these people to leave.
As the Select Committee enters the new year, public hearings into what happened on January 6th will come into people's homes, with members of former President Trump's inner circle called to answer about the day our democracy came dangerously close to falling.
And I think what concerns me the most is, will all Americans listen to what the committee produces? Will they understand that it's fact, that it's a nonpartisan investigation, that this is really important to the future of our democracy and our country and of what we think of ourselves as Americans?
Congresswoman Luria says she expects a final report from the Select Committee well before the midterm elections that will make recommendations to make sure we never see another January 6th.